Red freaking Rising by Pierce Brown. This is another novel that, oh my god, the amount of love, praise. This is an obsession for people, and people love this thing. I was truly expecting, I don't know, a different kind of book, a different kind of novel. With the way people talk about it, this revolutionized literature for some people. This was the definitive step from young adult to truly adult books, but still with that narrative of like the Hunger Games or like the Maze Runner or whatever. From the get-go, I'm gonna say I did not have that experience with the book. I didn't like it as much. I gave it 2 stars, and I do have strong opinions about it. I know this won't affect the book, so I'm okay with it. Like, the book's still gonna be super famous, super popular. I'm a nobody, so I feel free to say everything I feel about this damn thing. First of all, if you haven't read the book, have you seen Dora the Explorer? I'm gonna treat you like a Dora the Explorer, and you'll see how you can easily answer pretty much everything about this book without having written it, without knowing anything about it. First, just a general premise. The book, it's about this kind of division in society. So the society, this dystopian future, is divided into color castes, the red ones and the gold ones. Some of them are rich, some of them are poor. So guess which ones are the bad ones and which ones are the good ones, the perfect ones. Guess. Right? You perfectly know. The rich ones, of course, are the asshole, the terrible human beings that take it, that control the vulnerable poor. Yeah, okay, that's obvious. Now guess to which group the main character belongs to. Just guess. Doesn't take much, right? You perfectly know. The main character is part of the poor slave ones, the ones that really work hard, that are controlled by the rich assholes, right? That's no mystery there. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you think the main character is gonna do? Is he gonna be his entire life a slave, a poor person just doing what he can to survive? Of course he's not gonna do that, no? So guess what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think the main character of this novel is gonna do? Doesn't take much to guess, right? Is he gonna live a quiet life, peacefully, having some kind of sort of new adventure we've never seen before in literature, and that's why this book is so high on pedestals and renowned and beloved, and everybody's going crazy about it and calling it mind-blowing? Is that what's gonna happen? Is this gonna be the most original plot, the most original story, the most original main character we've ever gonna encounter in literature? No, it's gonna be more of the same things we've seen 100,000 things times before. We're gonna see an underdog story of a person who was down, vulnerable, pushed by the villains, and he's gonna be part of the rebellion. He's gonna be part of the resistance, and he's gonna free his people and be the hero and be the bad. Right? That's gonna happen. He's gonna join the rebellion. He's gonna join the resistance. Of course, there was no doubt in it. No, but when you start reading, my name is Dabro, and I was a slave boy in Mars, but the rich assholes were controlling me. He's gonna at some point join the rebellion. No doubt in my mind. That's exactly what happens. This is my problem with this book. Everything is a trope after a trope after a trope, a cliche with a cliche with a cliche, which is, tropes are fine. Sometimes they're very good fiction devices. Sometimes it's good to use them. They're there for a reason, I guess. But it depends how you use them, the execution. And I don't feel this novel has fantastic, great original execution, great or fantastic, incredible storytelling, a fantastic... No, it's just, you kind of feel, okay, I'm just waiting. Where is the point of this book where I'm gonna feel, oh my God, this was amazing. I understand why everybody's praising this thing. I'm all the time waiting for that moment, and it never happened. Now, not everything is terrible in the life of poor Darrow, our main protagonist, who's a slave and works in the mines or whatever they call it. He has a wife, a beautiful wife. And you know how the relationship between the main character, the poor broken main character, with his wife is. This is the relationship. Oh my love, you're the most beautiful woman you mean the world to me. I love you with all my heart. We are broken, we have no money, but we love each other, and that's all that matters. And she's like, oh yes, oh Tyrant, you know, you have no money, we are poor, we are slaves, but we're so happy because we have each other, and that's all. They have they just love each other. Look at the stars. Aren't the stars beautiful? Look at the... And that's it. There's no depth to, no, that's it. They just love each other. They're super happy. Question. Is his wife, Io, I think her name is, she's just gonna be part of the story, and she's gonna have depth, complexity, have a personality. They're gonna have a real relationship, or she's just gonna plot device for him to, move forward in the story. You know what's gonna happen to her as soon as they mention, he has a wife who means everything to him. You know what's gonna happen. We've seen Braveheart. We've seen all of the stories have the same thing. All of this. It's not even a spoiler. Of course she's gonna die. I mean, there was no... As soon as he had a wife, she dead. She died. That's it. That's the book all the time. You know what's gonna happen. There's nothing. What is the original thing about this book? Everything's so predictable, so easily to see. At no point in the story I felt my mind being blown. Never. 0 times. 0. So Darrow's wife dies, and he feels like, well, now what do I do? Well, I'm gonna join the resistance and kill the bastards, the mean gold people, the rich assholes, the elites, the millionaires that are controlling the system. So he's gonna join the resistance. Their plan is to infiltrate the golds, whatever they call it, I read it in Spanish. And he is gonna dismantle them from within. He's gonna kill the beast from its inside. Where have I read this before? Oh yeah, and then what does he do? He goes from poor broken bastard, and then these people grab him and they turn him into this perfect gold person. So he looks like the bad guys. He looks blonde and rich and white. And I don't know if they change his chemistry. He becomes smarter. Because he has to be super smart, because the gold ones have to learn about, war and about the system, about being more, supposedly academic stuff about war. And that's the excuse they use for Darrow, the main character, to become this almost perfect kind of Mary Sue character, where he's just better at everything all the time, even more than the real gold people that have been gold their entire life, that have been trained their entire lives, that weren't spending years being miners. No, he's better than them.
I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves! I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
When they go to their school or whatever Hogwarts crap this is, Hunger Games scenario, where they have to kill each other in a fictional war, he's just superior. He's just cool. He's just a badass. Again, the perfect character that everything comes easily to him. He just learns super quick. This is another problem I have with this book. So Darrow starts as a miner, as a slave, poor and broken. They gave us this set of characters. So we learn about his life, his wife, his friends there, the co-workers, the people. We get this set of characters. We get introduced to the world. When we're just getting familiar with in that world, they move into another scene, to another scenario where everything changes. Everybody around him changes. The place changes. So he's removed because he needs to be trained and he needs to be turned into a gold. So he's removed to the scenario, to the place, and he learns from the beginning, from the start, what it means to be a gold. And when we have new characters and we have to learn new names, we have to get familiar with the new setting, we need to get familiar. And as soon as we're getting familiar, he's removed again because he needs to infiltrate the gold ones. So again, everything changes for the third time in the book. There's a bunch of new characters. You have to learn their names, get familiar with them, get familiar with the setting, get familiar with... There's so much change. At no point felt I connected with no character, because there's no time to connect with anybody because it keeps changing. And another thing, who am I going to connect with in this book? Who am I going to have this emotional empathy with. Darrow, the dude starts, okay, I granted to you, he starts like a hero, a poor person. He's good at his heart, he's just a slave. But then to infiltrate the gold ones, he needs to turn into this major asshole, right? He needs to become like them, obnoxious, rich, egocentric, pretentious. They're the most annoying group of characters ever, these gold ones, and they're the main characters of the whole third part of the book. They are the main characters, and Darrow becomes one of them. Obnoxious, annoying, pretentious, egocentric, to infiltrate them, right? I get it, but he kind of turns them into a real thing for him. He becomes so much that I even start hating him. He's so annoying. They just talk to each other all the time. Well, I'm better than you, are gonna die, and that's it. That's fucking it. It's fucking annoying. I felt that way with the book, that there's nobody you can actually root for. There's no character you really care about, because at the end of the story, everybody is just a moron. Everybody's just a pretentious, rich, nepotism kid. That's it. There's nobody else. Darrow is the fake one, but he's also kind of annoying at the end. So but I was like, if he dies, I wouldn't care. That was my true feelings about the book. If Darrow dies, I will say maybe this is where the book gets good, because who will dare to kill its main character in the first novel of a saga? That would be amazing. Maybe and who will be able to do that and keep my interest in the story with a new set of characters? That would be amazing. Only a genius could do that. Maybe this book is gonna do it. No, of course he's not gonna do it. This is more of the same, with Darrow just keeps being the badass. Most likely he's gonna win the thing. Most likely he's gonna be. Of course he is. Anything you can imagine he's gonna do, of course he's gonna do, because this thing is so damn obvious. That's my point. I'm not saying this book is complete garbage. I'm just saying, so what was all the hype for? Anything you can praise this book for, a bunch of other books have it. It's a story about a revenge, and most stories are. It's a story about the Monte Cristo again, like how he was poor and then he rises to the ranks and he infiltrates the society to revenge. It's not a new thing. It's been done over, and I don't get why the hype is for. The prose is not particularly good. Sometimes I was annoyed the freaking prose, the way this book was written. I didn't see it as something that great. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't see it like that. And I've seen other people leaving their criticism to the book with valid stuff. For example, the problem with the characters. They're so one-dimensional. They're even super bad and terrible. Gold ones, they are, rich and terrible people. They are, and we got it. The poor ones are noble and nice. And it's again the rich, again the poor. A clear division of good and evil, black and white, where, it's never like that. People are more complex like that. So when they depict people like that in stories, it just feels flat and super fake. I know this is a dystopian world and different, but stories are interesting because people are interesting and complex. And Darrow is even a noble, good, hard person as a poor one, or a terrible, annoying, rich, gold one. And that's it. That you either one or the other. There's not much. Another thing I agree with, and I've seen in other people's criticisms of this novel, is the pacing. Sometimes what's happening in the book, it feels so irrelevant, or it's just a filler. The point of this story is that Darrow, the main character, is going to infiltrate the bad society, the gold ones, the rich ones, and destroy them. But to do that, he needs to win this competition, this Hunger Games kind of thing, where they have to play war, but they actually kill each other. With other rich kids, because that's how rich society works. Like, they have to put their own children to die, so they have to kill each other to prove they are badasses. I don't know. So this whole thing is just pretend. They're playing pretend. There's not the real war. It's just it feels like a preamble, like a filler that is not part of the main story, which it isn't, because it's the first book. It's just like the entrance. So I kind of felt this is kind of pointless, because I know Darrow is gonna at least win the thing, because he needs to be alive to be part of the next book. And of course that's what happened. There was nothing. I was like, and everything in the war, it was all this chit chat, and we have to conquer this part, and we have to do this. And at some point, I was so bored. I'm sorry. I was so bored. I didn't know what was happening because there's so much chit chat and so many new characters, and they all talk the same way, pretentious, annoying, like they are know-it-alls and they're better, and they have to always be mean to each other. There's no real connection between anybody, and I was just bored halfway through the war thing inside the Hunger Games kind of story. I do admit the very last chapters got interesting. They did got interesting. They got a bit better. There was this other mysterious character around lurking that I was like, okay, this is more interesting stuff going on. So yeah, there was a few cool elements in that story. But there was so much drag in between. There was so much boredom, and it was so boring and dull in between. I just kept thinking, what am I missing this story? People are getting tattoos of this novel on their skin, and the fan base is just so strong. What am I missing here, right? I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people have. This book divides people a lot into those who are like, I don't get it. I see more of the same stuff, full of tropes, full of clichés, not very particularly well executed, nothing very original. The poor ones are good, the rich ones are bad. The poor kid is gonna outsmart all the bad guys. The good kid is gonna suddenly be super badass just because the plot needs him to be that. So what am I missing? Why is everybody in love with this book? There's 3 million books getting published all the freaking time. Why is this book getting so much love? Why is this book going up the ranks as one of the most meaningful novels of our times? Why? I agree, I don't see it. It looks and it sounds and it feels like so many other novels that nobody cares about. Why this book? I've read stories, indie novels I talked to the author through Facebook or whatever. When they gave me their novel, it was in Kindle Unlimited, and I read the novel and I was like, this thing was really good. It blew my mind away because I was not expecting that from an indie author, from a person I could just talk to and reach to, and nobody recommended, and their book is not in any list. And I was like, your book was really good, right? But Ray Rising is in all the lists. It's all the YouTubers, TikTokers, they are just telling you this thing is fantastic, it's great, it's gonna change history. And then you read it and it's just another generic story. To me, and to many people, no? To me, please. It's just an opinion. So that's the problem. Full of tropes, full of cliches, flat characters, good ones or bad ones. Some characters are just Mary Sue's, like his wife. The only reason she's there, those characters were created to die. Darrow's wife, Io, was just put in the story so he has an excuse to get all ballistic and be like, I'll join the rebellion. That's it. That's her whole purpose in the story. Weird pace because some parts just drag and we don't care. We wanna, okay, let's get going with the rebellion. Let's get going with the dismantling of the bad society. No, it just takes forever, right? Some of parts of the style of the story are weird. Darrow is this put on a pedestal, badass Mary Sue, but he just happens to be great. They have the excuse, it's raining. They have the excuse where they improve him in a lab or something. I remember I read this thing like 2 years ago. I don't get it. When I finished this thing, I was like, this felt so much like a chore. I don't feel like reading the second part. A lot of people tell you, no, it gets better. The first part, are you kidding me? I hate when they do that. No. This whole 500-page book, yeah, I know it's a little bit slow, it's a little bit dull, but it gets better in the next one. Are you kidding me? That's a freaking commitment. Of course, the more you read, the more you get familiarized with the character, of course, you're gonna feel more attached to them and you're gonna idealize them more. But I don't want to do that. I don't think I can do that. Sometimes I feel this is more like a snowball effect where the more people read it and the more people get hype about a story, other people are gonna feel more compelled to be part of that group. They're like, okay, this book already has the support of so many people, right? if I like it, I'm gonna be part of a community. So people just wanna be part of this fandom of this community because they can sit down and talk about it and be fanboys about this book, right? But it's not that the book is. If the book it wasn't, nobody was talking about it, maybe you wouldn't feel that compelled to finishing it, right? Maybe you wouldn't be that compelled to keep going because I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the book is great. Maybe the book is fantastic. And I'm in the wrong. I'm the idiot. I can admit that, right? But don't be surprised if you give it a chance and you don't like it. It might happen that you may love it. A lot of people are loving it. You know, this thing is gonna be more popular than anything I will ever write, right? So it's up to you. But if you don't like it, just know I'm here with you. You can take my hat. We can walk together. It was not for me neither. Freaking, I didn't hate it. It got parts that were really good. I think it could get adapted into a good TV show, which most likely is, or a movie, most likely a TV show. I think it has potential. But I don't think I'm gonna keep reading the series. I'm sorry. I started the second book just to check. I was so bored in the first pages. I was like, no, please no, just end my misery, please, God, please. Anyway, 2 stars, Red Rising, Pierce Brown. I'm out.